Given the amount of cash that manufacturers invest in concept cars and design studies, it's not exactly surprising they don't let you get very close to them, let alone sit in them. But today, I'm driving one. And this is no ordinary concept. It's a fully functioning, all-electric, all-wheel drive concept from Hyundai. And I'm not just driving it around a car park, I'm putting it to the test on the world's second longest full-time racetrack. This is the Hyundai RN22e, and I was lucky enough to be part of its international debut earlier this year in Busan, South Korea. But look, it's followed me all the way back to Australia. It's here to be part of Hyundai's 2022 N Festival, but before I tell you exactly what this car is like to drive, I want to tell you a little bit more about its name. The N obviously represents Hyundai's N Performance brand, named after the Nanyang Proving Ground and the Nürburgring test track, where obviously Hyundai has its own test facility. The 22 stands for the year that this car was revealed, and the E obviously means that it's entirely made out of eggs. No, of course it's pure electric, but the letter at the other end of the name is the one that's most interesting to me, the R. The R in this concept's name means it's part of Hyundai's Rolling Lab experimental cars. And the exciting thing about that is the technology it's showcasing will one day make its way into a production Hyundai. And I really hope it does, because this car is absolutely astonishing. And it has dual electric motors, 160 kilowatts worth on the front axle and 270 kilowatts worth at the rear for all-wheel drive. But it's showcasing some very interesting technology, including its rear differential, which uses 2 clutches for almost unrivaled torque vectoring. It also uses a lot of very clever weight-saving techniques and manufacturing techniques. It's still a heavy car because it's still got to lug around a 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery. But it's doing things that I never thought an electric vehicle would be able to do. One of the things that I particularly like is it has a simulated DCT. Obviously this is an electric vehicle, which means it really only needs a single speed, but the engineers have cleverly mimicked the sensation of changing gears. And you can hear it doing it as I pull the paddle shifters. It doesn't really need to do that, but it makes it such an incredibly involving drive. And honestly, no other electric vehicle can do that. That's so good. I know it's not quite real, but I don't care. I absolutely love it. And then there's the sound itself. Have you ever heard an electric vehicle that sounds like that? Wow, I have goosebumps all over my body. This car feels like a proper thoroughbred electric racer, and that's probably no coincidence because a car very similar to it will enter a European electric touring car series next year, and the early signs are that it's going to be very good. The other thing which is particularly exciting about this car is, unofficially, the RN22e previews a production version called the Ioniq 6N. And if it's anything like this absolute monster, it's going to shake up the entire EV world. Now, because this car is sending 270 kilowatts to the rear motor, it is very tail biased. And it feels wonderful. You turn it in and it's super responsive, and you can kind of steer it on the throttle a little bit. And the steering is beautifully intuitive and so switched on. I honestly have never driven a car like this, and I can absolutely say, hand on heart, I'll keep it on the steering wheel, it's the most exciting electrified vehicle I have ever driven.
How was that?
Can we go again?